Let's go now. CONCACAF writer, great supporter of this show. He is Victor Araiza. He joins us now. Hi, Victor.
Hey, Glenn. Always a pleasure to be on.
All right, let's get you right into it. Griffin Dorsey, big deal today here. A lot of fans are weighing in on this. There's a lot of people wondering this is the redo of Mikael right before the start of the season. How about your thought?
Yeah, well, you hit the nail on the head. That's exactly what it is. It kind of sprung up on everybody, and listen. I think people when you go through the deal and you can call it good business, but I think the question that arises it's what's the intention here, right? Is it to win a championship? Is it to go for an MLS Cup? Because if it is, you put this work in preseason. Especially with Griffin Dorsey as part of this formation where it seems like, they were five at the back at times, him on one side and Ali on the other. And now you sort of, break that up. You don't even get to see it to start the year. And, we'll see who ends up going in that spot. Obviously, we know Dorsey's speed and what he brought and what he could be when he was playing at his best. And here's another one with Victor Araiza back. You would think, hey, that's a guy that could probably light a fire under this guy and lift him up like he did in 2023. So I was excited to see Dorsey a little bit just from that aspect. But listen, Orlando, depending on what they do, they might have gotten a bargain because they can slot him right in. It'll be good for him because it's a different environment. But again, it begs the question, especially like you said, after last year with the Mikael situation, what is the Dynamo doing? What is the plan? Why make this move so close to the start of the season, and we can get into, playoff system, and it allows you to do that. But just, if you want to challenge for a top four, right?
It's just make the playoffs, though, Victor. That's the word we always hear. Just make the playoffs. 18 out of 30 make it. Just make the playoffs.
And listen, I'm going to try to, because there's two media availabilities on Friday, one with the owner down at the stadium, and then I think Olsen's will be separate at HSP, if I'm not mistaken. So, but I'm going to try to ask Ben Olsen this week. Is this club aiming for a supporters shield? Are they even going to try to go up and punch to the top of the standings, just at least to see their chances, right? Or is this sort of a team that, like last year, is just going to try to find itself throughout the year?
Yeah, the club's communication from leadership is too nebulous, and that's why it makes it hard to figure out, what is the vision? What are we doing? I'm going to say this is a selling club. I'm going to say Brazil is very popular in South America, like it is with a lot of teams, including Orlando. I'm going to say that if there's an opportunity to make $1 million at any time, this owner wants that cash. And it doesn't matter. You guys then have to put the team together. So we're going to get $1 million in GAM and whatever else. It's valuable. But you now are going to try to make do with changes in your team. And a guy that honestly was game planned for every time last year simply because of his power in running. He did slightly get better in his delivery. Kind of dropped down a little bit last year. But now you're going to hear fans, placating and going, oh, well, he really wasn't that good. He's not a defender, by the way. He's a midfielder. Defending is his least strength, right? His ability to get forward and pressure and get up the field, that's his strength. And I did see him from the time Tab Ramos was playing him, Victor. I saw, and I think a lot of people saw, him get a little bit more polished. Did he get where he needs to get? No, I don't think so. But nonetheless, he's very effective, and people had to worry about him in games. The man has a motor that's unbelievable, probably has 3 lungs.
Yeah, and he could shoot, and I think when he wanted to go for goal, I would have liked to see him here in Houston go for goal a little more. I think we got a bit of a taste in a few of those seasons, but we didn't really... there was a time, listen, I got frustrated when I watched this team, and then, I see Dorsey, and he has open space, and he cuts back to wait for the rest of the team to catch up. These are the kinds of things where I'd like to see them more proactive in attack. But look, it's all done. He was one of the, you mentioned he was here when Tab Ramos was here, so he's one of the longer tenured players. Again, star building and making, going into the community, he was one of the most popular guys, and that's all on his own too. That's something you lose now. We've seen it over the years where, some of these players get shipped off, and that also hurts the club as far as, fans get attached, and then they wonder why. Again, what's the point of some of these moves? And that's part of the community aspect as well. So, but we'll see who they replace him with. The only ideal situation.
Yeah, and by the way, we haven't heard the Dynamo. The
shoulders.
Dynamo haven't announced it yet, Victor, and neither has Orlando.
Right, but it's been reported by Tom Bogert, who we know is an MLS insider, has a link, so it's only a matter of time till this gets announced. And look, this may not even get announced till till Saturday, the start of the season. But we pretty much know if it's been reported by Bogert, it's all but sure.
Okay, so what does it say to you? You mentioned the ambition. I took an angle that's kind of interesting here, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but I think when people get positions of sporting director and, you're known as the deal maker and the guy with the computer like Asher Mendelson, and we're doing all this data stuff, it's always a feather in your cap when you do a deal and you make your owner money. And my worry is that, hey, are we doing things simply to make money for the owner and make him happy and keep our jobs? Or are we doing things and making decisions that are based on trying to want to win championships? And I think you're going to hear later on today, I've got Buzz Carrick on, and he's going to talk about FC Dallas. And you're going to almost hear him talking about the Houston Dynamo when it comes to just spend and where they're going to sit. And, I hope it's going to get better, but I just don't see it right now. I don't know.
Yeah, but at least FC Dallas develops players. At least they've
not lately. I don't know about lately.
Record.
I don't know about lately. But they've got their own
either way.
problems.
And again, I mentioned the tenure of Dorsey just to go at. So what is the plan? What is it? Like you said, there hasn't been, really anything about, we're going for a 3-year span or we're at a 5-year plan or something like that. Look, the feather in the cap thing, it's MLS Cup titles, right? In this league, if you really want to be the best, if you're really going for success, that's the marker right there. It's not the Open Cups. Those are nice for the fans to have something to celebrate. You're supposed to be shooting for MLS Cup, and right now that you got Messi in the league, you're supposed to be shooting to at least make the MLS Cup final, be associated with one of the top players in the history of the sport. If he makes it to the final like he did the last year. Yeah. That's what I would like to see them again shoot for. But instead, we're happy to make the playoffs or just shoot for that.
Yeah, nobody's ever going to say they're trying to win the MLS Cup. It raises the bar too high, and I think that's where I find it a little disrespectful sometimes, a lot of the rhetoric, because we deserve better down here. I mean, explain to us what we're trying to do, what our vision is. Where is the bar set? Now we can only look at what the owner does. He likes to sell. So that's a part of the game these days, but it seems always to be a detriment towards the end game. And the year they should have went for it was 2024, and they sat on it. That was the year to try and win it and go get a really big piece next to Hector Herrera. Victor, thanks so much for coming on. As always, we appreciate your authenticity and telling it from the heart. Appreciate it.
Yeah, anytime, Glenn.
All right. Victor Araiza. We do need some people to speak in the media. By the way, there was 32 people at the media game. Where are they? What are the outlets? I know listen, and I'm all thumbs up on the podcast community and everybody covering the team, but we do need more real coverage. Most people would want me to be rah-rah on it today, but I think we have to look at what was breaking news. Griffin Dorsey leaving, big piece of the Dynamo attack in the last couple of years, fan favorite. We have to talk about it like the NFL, the NBA, right? That's what everybody in MLS says they want. So we gave it to you today. We'll take a break. Soccer Matters, ESPN 97.5. Hit up Slip Sliders, 1802 Bins.